This
material
conference will
master.
now be recorded.
Sir, Shashank this side. Sir, the voice is a little blurred.
So voice is not clear. Hello.
Now it is, sir. Now it is, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yes. So in the last session, we were discussing about the material master, where we finished discussing up to sales org 2 view, right? So we have discussed up to the sales org 2 view. So we have discussed what is general item category group, what is item category group. So these all things we finished. So let's move on to the next tab, which is the sales general tab. So from where this is coming, like base unit of measure or gross weight, these all things. So the very important field in this screen is availability check. This field, very important field. So what is availability check? So first let me tell you what is an availability check. Then we'll proceed what is this field altogether. So availability check means, let's say we create an order for X material 100 quantity. Okay, we created order for X material 100 quantity. So what happens? This requirement will pass on to the plant, and in the plant, the system starts checking whether you have this X material 100 quantity available or not. If it is available, it will get the confirmation into the sales order saying that X material 100 quantity is available, and we can deliver it on, let's say, 20 March. Okay, we can deliver on 20 March. Right. So this process is called as availability check. That means checking the quantities in the plant whether it is available or not whenever you create a sales order. That's called as availability check. But to perform this availability check, you need to maintain some prerequisites. Okay. You need to maintain some prerequisites to perform this particular availability check. So what are the prerequisites and how you can perform availability check? That is controlled by this field. This is one of the field which will help us to control. So availability check in the real time is also called as checking group. This field particularly in the material master, here it is called as availability check, but in the real time it is also called as checking group. That means if someone is talking about what is the checking group you maintained, don't confuse. It is nothing but they are suppose asking you to this field. They are referring to this field, checking group. Or availability check is also called as scope of check. So the terminology is different from project to project, right? So we call it a scope of check or a checking group with different names actually, but everything is one and same. Right? So what is this checking group all about? And there is a major change in S/4HANA coming to this field, checking group. So what is this change and what exactly it is? Let me tell you what is this checking group. See, in the availability check, we have two options. One is daily requirement, one is individual requirement. 01, 02, KP, no check. Okay. That means if you don't want to perform availability check, I just explained you a scenario, right? X metal 100 quantity in the plant, it is checking whether it's available or not. So if you don't want to perform this, then go for KP, no check. If you maintain KP, system will not perform availability check. If you want to perform availability check, you have two options, daily requirement or individual requirement. So what is daily requirement? What is individual requirement? Let us discuss, and I'll also tell you what is the impact of this field in the S/4HANA. Let's go with a scenario to better understand this because this is very important. Okay. So what is this field checking group is all about? This field checking group is all about is a prerequisite to control whether you want to perform availability check or not. Okay. To perform availability check or not, this is controlling, right? So we are creating material in the system, right? We are creating material in the system. So let's say there is production happened and 100 material has come into the plant. So this material, 100 materials physical production happened and they have received the plant. You need to update in the system, right? That means you need to post the stock for this material in the system. So how do you post stock for this material in the system? That is with a transaction called as MB1C or MyGo. So MB1C transaction is absolute now because we don't use MB1C. So it says MB1C is absolute and you do with MyGo transaction, which used to be a goods receipt, right? So we using this transaction, you post a stock. So in which plant and what is the material, you post a stock into the plant saying that, okay, 100 material. We received 100 quantity physical stock into the plant, you post it, right? So how do we post? We post it through MB1C or MyGo. If I want to check, okay, you walked into a Reliance digital store. Okay, everyone is from India, right? Anyone? Okay, if for your case, you can take Walmart or Costco, anything it can be, or Best Buy. So you walked into a Reliance digital store, and you are inquiring for Samsung Ultra HD, a big TV. So in that particular store, the stock is not available. So how do we know that the stock is not available in that plant? So whenever you go to a store, what they do, they'll first check in the system, right, whether the stock is available or not. How do they check? If SAP is implemented in that company, how do they check if stock is available or not? With the transaction code MMBE. They go to MMBE to check stock overview, whether it's available or not. So I want to check this material, whether it is available in this plant or not. I can also drill down to storage location level. In a plant, I have 10 storage locations. I can drill down to this location also, but I'm just checking at the plant level. So in this plant, in this storage location, I have this much quantity, and in this storage location, I have this much quantity, right? So this is the unrestricted stock. That means this is the stock we sell to the customer. We deliver this stock. So how do they tell you whether the material is available or not? By checking in the MMBE transaction. This is the real-time transaction. What is all store people? You go to Walmart, you go to Big Bazaar. Whenever you inquire for some item, how do they check and make sure whether stock is available or not? Here, right? And if you want to make sure, you want to check all the stock. That means at a higher level, manager level, you want to see what is the incoming stock, what is the outgoing stock, what is the incoming stock against a production order or against a purchase order, what is the stock going out of against a sales order. So if you want to check all these things, see here it is a stock overview, only basic list. But if you want to see everything, then you go to a transaction code called as MD01. Sorry, MD04. You go to transaction MD04. In the MD04 also I can check whether this material is available in this plant or not. But to the what level I can do it? I can check all the incoming, outgoing. If it is incoming with what, with reference to purchase order or a production order. If stock is going, minus means stock is going outside the plant, delivery. So with reference to what? Order. So everything we can check here, right? So this is for MM. For MM, if they want to check what is the stock incoming, outgoing, everything, that is, this is for MM. If it is for SD, if SD user want to check the availability check overview, we have a transaction CO09, I guess. Let me just check CO09. Yeah, same. The screen will look very same, pretty same. You see, same material, same plant. So, but here it shows only deliveries. It will not show incoming stock, only delivery. So availability check, we just seen, right? This is for SD, but for MM, it is MD04, stock overview. So here it shows everything, like whether purchase order, production order, planned order, everything it shows here. Okay, for our scenario, let us come back to this field called as checking group, right? What is this checking group field all about? So I checked in MD04 as a scenario. Yeah,
in case if the stock has been allocated for future orders, what is the T code to see?
Allocated for future orders. Future order in the sense it is a product allocation you're talking about?
Yeah, it's like kind of reserved. Even though if it shows, it might show in MMBE screens saying that the stock is available, but the stock will not be alerted to a sales order because it might have been reserved for some priority customers or based on the product
That
allocation.
is that is product allocation. That transaction starts with M. I don't exactly remember the transaction, but I hope you already might receive the Capgemini documents. So go to Capgemini. In the Capgemini, there's a document called as product allocation. Somewhere
Okay.
it will be product allocation.
Okay, so the T code would be under product allocation.
Under product allocation, it will be behind T code. I don't exactly remember, but the T codes maybe start with a M dash or M, something like that. Okay, this is product allocation, reserving stocks. Okay, just checking that you'll find it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, yeah. So coming back to our scenario to understand what is this field checking group. So I checked in MD04 for X material. So it says 100 stock is available. Okay, in the MD04, when I check for X material, 100 stock is available. Right? So first sales order, I received 1005 for 30 quantity. Do we have stock? Can I say? Can I do a sale out of this stock?
Yes, we do have.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, we have a stock, right? So 100 minus 30, 70 stock is still remaining. I received second sales order for 25 quantity. 70 minus 25, 45. So again, I received third sales order for 20 quantity. 45 minus 20, 25 is available. So if you are going for the checking group for daily requirement 01, what's happening is system is accumulating that particular day's quantity 30, 25 and 20. How much it is? 75. So system is writing in one line called as sold quantity 75. And what is available quantity? 25. So if you are going with the daily requirement, this is how system updates the data into the MD04. If I'm going with individual requirement 02, how system updates the records? That is, first order 1005, that 30 quantity. Second order 25, third order 20, right? So how much stock we have in MD04 for X material? 100 quantity. 100 minus 30 with 1005 sales order, we have 30 quantity. 100 minus 30, 70. 70 minus 25, second sales order, 45. 45 minus 20, third sales order, 25. Both the scenarios are same, but what is the difference here? Anyone? What is the difference in this? Both the scenarios are same. What is the difference between these two?
In the second, yeah, go ahead.
So here, system is accumulating.
Second one is more specific.
Okay, so not about specific. See, is a system. What it's doing is it is accumulating all that particular day's quantity and writing it in one line here, right? Now I want to know which sales order has consumed 20 quantity. Can I know from this scenario if I'm going with 01?
No.
Not possible. But if I'm going with checking group individual requirement, if I want to know which sales order consumed 20 quantity, can I know from this particular? Is it possible?
Yes. Here it can be possible.
Yes, 1007 is a sales order which is coming, will consume 20 quantity. Here it's possible, but here it's not possible, right? What way this will affect? What way this will affect? What is backorder processing? Anyone? What is backorder processing?
Low priority customers gets their order cancelled to that, and it is diverted to high priority.
High priority customer. So if I'm going with a checking group 01, can I do backorder processing? Is it possible? It's not possible because we don't know which sales order is consuming what stock here, right? So if you want to do backorder process, if you are going with the daily requirement, it is not possible. If you want to do backorder processing, your checking group should be 02 because you should know which sales order is consumed by high priority customer or low priority customer. Clear? And the other thing is, what is the impact of this in the S4HANA? S4HANA data modeling, as I already told you, is against aggregates. What do you mean by aggregation? Anyone? Cumulation, right? Cumulation. Aggregating means cumulation or summing up, total. So here what we are trying to do, we are totaling all that particular day's quantity and writing in one figure. Usually at the table level, this will be saved in VBBE table. And this particular data, individual requirement, will be saved in the VBBS table. As HANA database is against aggregates, this table has become absolute now. There is no VBBS table. That means you don't have daily requirement in S4HANA. Because why we are going for this requirement? Because earlier our databases are not that powerful to do on-the-fly confirmations. So we used to aggregate, and at the end of the day, we used to confirm the quantities. But you don't need now because your HANA database is so powerful, it can do on-the-fly confirmations. So you don't need this particular daily requirement. And again, it is an against of your VBBE table is against of your HANA database modeling, right? So in S4HANA, you don't have this option, only one option called as individual requirement. If you have something in the ECC, this table is automatically redirected to VBBS. Right? This is the impact in the interview. So they ask you a question. So what's the changes happened in the scope of check or checking group? So this is what happened. Usually we have option here 0102. So 0102, right? So now it's only 2 individual requirements. There is no daily requirements, right? So this is the impact of this particular field in the S4HANA. And this is what checking group is all about. And anyway, this again we will discuss at the time of availability check concept. At that time, you will get a complete clarity what exactly this is. But at this moment, just make sure you know only the definition of this. That is, checking group is one of the parameter which will have, it is one of the prerequisite which you need to maintain for the availability check performance. If you want to perform availability check, this is one of the prerequisite you need to maintain. Right, so that is checking group. Okay, from where this checking group is getting updated? So you are seeing checking group here under the sales and general. But if I go to MRP3 view, you see availability check 02 MRP3. This is an integration between your SD and PP. SD and PP integration 02. So it will be in a sync. It's not you maintain 01 here and you maintain PP maintain something else. No, it will be if you maintain 02 here, it should also be 02 the MM3, right? So that's what this particular availability check. Then next is loading group. Loading group. What is shipping point determination? Storage location determination. What is the T code for storage location determination? T code for storage location determination.
OVL3, I guess. OVL3.
Right, it is OVL3. And what are the parameters for storage location determination? Not
shipping point plant loading group.
Plant storage condition. This is for storage location.
Sorry. Yes, storage conditions.
OVL2. In the OVL2 shipping point determination, you are seeing loading group, right? Shipping condition, we know from where it is coming. Plant, we know from where it's coming. But from where this loading group is coming, it's coming from the MM. Where? Here. This is where the loading group is coming. Right? So that's it in this particular screen. Let's move on to the next. There is no foreign trade. Foreign trade has been completely removed from S4HANA. And now anything is only GTS, Global Trade Service Module. No foreign trade. That means no import and no export. Both has been removed. This is export and this is import, right? Earlier export used to be SD, import used to be MM, but both has been complete foreign trade itself has been removed from S4HANA. right? So the next is MRP1. MRP1, okay, MRP type, material requirement planning, MRP type. So what is MRP? First, let's try to understand what is MRP, material requirement planning. I will tell in a nutshell what is exactly an MRP. What material you need, when you need, and how much quantity you need. This is nothing but MRP, material requirement planning. What material you need, when you need it, and how much quantity you need it. That means whenever you create a sales order, let's say for X material 100 quantity, and in the sales order, a delivery date also will be generated, right? So it says that I want for this material, the delivery date should be of March. Right? So immediately these requirements will be transferred to the plant. In the plant, system will perform MRP run. That MRP run means requirement planning will be happen. That means, so what material you need? I need X material. When I need it? On 20th March. How much quantity I need it? 100 quantity. So these requirements will be passed to the plant, and if this material is available, it will be immediately confirmed into the sales order. If this material is not available, then it will transfer these requirements to MM and PP, saying that this material is, we have a requirement for X material 100 quantity on 20th March. So raise a purchase order to vendor, get the raw material, start production, and keep X material 100 quantity ready for delivery on 20 March. Right? So what is this all process called as? This process is called as MRP, material requirement planning. So in the interviews also they ask this question, very important. How do you run MRP? What is the T code to run MRP? So what is the T code to run MRP? MD01. MD01, MRP run. This concept has a huge business impact in the S4HANA. This is completely MM topic. For SD, it's an off topic, but it has a huge impact in the S4HANA. There's a new concept called as MRP Live, because the most tedious concept in MM is MRP. Planning. Planning is the most tedious concept. If you plan in advance, you may sometime waste your material. If you plan lately, you may lose some orders, right? So planning is very important. So how do you plan? This MRP with the old database, it used to take a lot of time, sometimes ages, 48 hours, 1 week also, sometimes it will take. You run the system. Usually we run this MRP in the night after the working hours, because you cannot run MRP in the daytime, because it will hamper all the system performance. Your system will crash, right? So usually we don't do weekly, daily planning. We do weekly planning. So Saturday night they run and leave it. By Monday morning it will plan and show you, right? So we have scope of planning that is particular plant. We have 3 transactions, MD02, MD03 also. What is MD0203? This is MD01, scope of planning in plant, irrespective of material. You see there is no material here. In the plant, if you run MD01, in the plant system will plan all the materials. If you go for MD02, you have material, only particular material in one plant. If you go for MD03, single level material, single item. Earlier it was single level material, multiple level. What is level we'll discuss later. That is BOM concept, BOM, right? So this is how we have. But now SAP has come up with the MRP Live concept, which is MD01N. MD01N. For that you need HANA database. That means earlier whichever used to take 48 hours, 24 hours, now with the HANA database we can do it in 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes we can do it now. It will not take 48 hours or something. Right? But that is happening only in the S4HANA, the power of HANA. Right? So that is what MRP is all about, but it's a very big concept and very important concept for MM, not SD. But you should have a basic idea what MRP is all about. So whether you want to perform this MRP or not, when you will perform MRP? When material is not available. Okay. So you do all the sales in a week. At the end of the week, you run MRP so that you will know, right, what material is not available, what is available. Basing upon that system, when it's not available, you plan. Simple thing. How do you plan your groceries for a month? Before you are buying something, before you go to store, first you check at your home, right? So whether this item is available or not. If it is available, how much it is available? Do I need to replenish it or not? Right? And you take a list to the grocery store and you buy and come back. This is the same MRP is all about. If material is available, you don't buy that. If material is not available, you buy that. So, but what to buy, what to not buy, how you'll know that? When you check in your kitchen, then only in your pantry, then you will know whether you need to buy it or not. That process is nothing but MRP, material requirement planning. What material you need, when you need, and how much you need. So whether to perform this or not, you can control. If you want to perform PD, PD means planning. You want to transfer the requirements so that it can be manufactured and keep ready for you if material is not available. ND means no planning. You don't want to transfer the MRPs. Okay. ND means no planning. If there is no quantity, just drop it. Don't transfer the requirements. Leave it. The next is MRP controller. Who is an MRP controller? MRP control is the person who is responsible to run the MRP. It can be a purchasing manager. Okay.
Sorry, Praveen, I have a question.
Yeah.
The transaction MD01, it is for raw materials, huh?
MD01N, yes. For all, it will plan everything. That means, see, if you are manufacturing a laptop, it will plan at laptop. It will not plan at the raw material level. To manufacture a laptop, what all material you need, whether it's available or not, that it will make sure.
And MD04 that you told, that is for finished good.
MD04 is to check the finished goods incoming and outgoing. It for anything. It is not specific to whether you're finished or semi-finished. Whatever the material you enter, for that material it will show you. Whether it can be a finished goods, it can be a semi-finished goods, doesn't matter. If you enter a material, for that material it will show whether material is coming inside the plant or outgoing the plant and everything. So MRP controller is the person who runs the MRP. He can be a purchasing manager. So who is eligible to run this MRP T code MD01? That code you will be giving here. This is the person who is eligible to run that MRP, right? So this screen is completely for MM, so not for SD. But it's good to know because we have integrations, and at level of 4 to 5 years experience, you should know these things. The next MRP2. In the MRP2 procurement type, this is again for the PP integration and MM as well. So procurement type, that is how you are handling this material, whether you are manufacturing that material in-house or you are procuring it from outside, or you do both. You manufacturing it and as well as you procure it from outside. So that is this procurement type, in-house production or external procurement or both procurement types. So how you want to handle this material is controlled with this procurement type. Then next is safety stock. Safety stock. What is safety stock? See, MRP will be like this. This is stock 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And this is 2 days, 4 days, 6 days, 8 days, and 10 days. So this is how you maintain the stock. As day passes, what happens? So 10 days. As day passes, your stock will also be reduced, right? But you'll have one point called as reorder planning point. That means when you should place an order. So, okay, you have 100 quantity and that quantity is being consumed. That means that quantity is being finished, right? But so you need to place an order to replenish that material. When you need to place it, there will be some point called as reorder planning point. This is the reorder planning point. That means if a stock comes at the 40 level, you need to trigger PO to vendor and make sure you get the stock again replenished to 100. This is reorder planning point. This is safety stock. Or else you can take it out this safety stock, because The safety stock is something which you sell in unforeseen situations. That means natural calamities, plant breakdown, right? So in these situations, the company has to survive, right, by paying the minimum wages. Plant breakdown or natural calamities. Your plant is not doing production, so how your company will survive by paying the? So you need to keep up the people by paying at least minimum wages. If not, they will go away and look for some other jobs. Or you need to pay minimum bills. How do you survive? By selling this safety stock. Okay. So how much should be the safety stock, and what should be the safety stock time period? Everything will be maintained here, right? Sometimes, as an SD, we get a requirement. You need to sell from the safety stock also, because we sell only from unrestricted stock. But there might be a situation arise where your business will tell you, we want to sell from safety stock. Then you'll go to availability check and activate that safety stock. So the system will even consume the stock from the safety stock. This stock is reserved only to consume at the time of natural calamities or unforeseen situations. Right? MRP3 view. Strategy group. This is SD PP integration, production planning module integration. Strategy group, how you handle this material. Maruti, is it manufacturing cars specifically for you with your requirements and the specifications? Anyone?
No.
Is Maruti? No, right? They don't manufacture anything specific to us. They have some design, they have some everything. They manufacture and keep it ready. Whoever has money requirement, go buy and come. That's it. And they give choices, very limited choices. 4 colors, 2 engine options, petrol or diesel, 2 transmission options. Right? Very limited options they will be giving. Right? This is make to stock. This is make to stock. That means this is a complete production line. They manufacture stock and keep ready. Whoever wanted, go buy it and come back. That's it. On the other hand, we have one more scenario called as make to order. You place an order, then only they manufacture and deliver it to you. For that, it will take time, maybe 6 months, even 1 year also. Rolls-Royce. You cannot go and straight away buy Rolls-Royce and come out, right? You need to place an order with your specifications, color choices, lots of options. Then they start manufacturing and deliver it maybe after 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months. Or you take elevators, escalators, or heavy engineering transformers or ads. It can be anything which is custom made, that is make to order. Right? What is make to order? We don't manufacture that material until customer places an order. We manufacture it only when customer places an order, according to his specifications, his requirement. That is make to order. So how you handle this material, whether this material is a make to stock or a make to order, that you control here. Make to stock or make to order. Right? So this is a PP integration, SD with PP integration. And RLT, total replenishment lead time. Replenishment lead time, or in short form we call it as RLT. What is RLT? The name itself tells replenishment. What is replenishing? Anyone?
Filling again.
Filling, right? So if something is finished, filling it back, that is replenish, right? That means when you create an order and it found that the material is not available, how much time it will take for the MM and PP to keep the stock ready for delivery? 2 days. So to replenish a material non-available stock, how much time it will take? It will take 2 days. And this we already discussed, right? So these are the controls what we have in the MRP3. Nothing in the MRP4. Straight away we can go to plant data storage 1 only for this speed. Maximum storage period or shelf life. This was one question in one pharma company interview, shelf life. Because some products comes with an expiry date, right? Food and beverages, cosmetics. These products comes with expiry date. So you need to maintain the shelf life. You cannot sell that lifetime until that product gets sold. So what is the maximum storage period of that material? and how much is remaining, what is the total shelf life. So with a combination of this, you can maintain some explant material status with batch numbers, and you can recall that particular material from the market. So this is shelf life. This is again purely MM, not SD. So let's move on to the last control, which is accounting one.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
Shashank this side, sir. Sir, is there any relationship between RLT and the factory calendar? Because when the product will be available, then only it can get delivered, right? So the dates should be like on the basis of the availability of a product?
Yes. Yes. So if you want to schedule a delivery, if you remember at the time of calendar, I told you we'll discuss this because for the concept called the delivery scheduling, right? So to perform delivery scheduling, there are 5 parameters. Out of that, RLT is one parameter. System will check the time. If material is not available, then system will take RLT into consideration. If material is available, there is no purpose of RLC, so it will not take into consideration. Okay.
Okay.
We'll discuss that again. When it comes to concept called the delivery scheduling, we'll discuss that. So the last is accounting one, which is maintained by FI. And here where we maintain the cost price of the material. How do cost price come into sales document? With a condition type called as BPRS. Okay. So here where we maintain the price of the material. This is the total stock available. Price into stock. This is the value. Right. So again, in this stream, there is one major impact in the S/4HANA called as this material ledger. There used to be a material ledger concept in the ECC, but that is an optional. Don't you need to activate it. But in S/4HANA, it is mandatory to activate material ledger. It is mandatory to activate material ledger in S/4HANA. Right? Why you need material ledger in S/4HANA? What is material ledger? See, material ledger will allow us to maintain our stock in 3 different currency. You see here, this stock is valued now only in euros. What is the value of total stock? That value of total stock is some 142.914. This is only in euros. But I want to know the same stock value in dollars. Can I know in dollars? No. I need to take a calculator. I need to check first what is the dollar to euro, and then I need to do it, right? But you take big companies. You take IOC, Indian Oil Corporation. What do Indian Oil Corporation do? They buy crude oil and they refine it and they sell as petrol and diesel, right? How they buy? In what currency they buy?
Dollars.
Right? All commodity trading will happen in dollars. And how do they sell in India? What currency? Rupees. Right? So what's happening here is, let's say $1 is equal to 50 rupees. I'm just taking an example. $1 is equal to 50 rupees. 1 barrel crude is $100. 1 barrel crude is $100. Let's say IOC has bought 10 barrel crude. So what is the value of the crude now? What is the stock value? 10 into 100. $1,000. In currency, what is the value of the stock? In Indian currency, what is the value of the stock?
50,000.
50,000. IOC has not sold anything, but tomorrow $1 has become 45 rupees. We have not sold any stock. What is the stock value now?
40,000. 45,000.
What about that 5K? Is it a loss or profit, or what about this 5K?
Loss.
This is not a loss. This is not a loss. Tomorrow dollar may become 60 rupees. You cannot say that is a profit. Right? So where you should post this value? You cannot post these values in PL&D account. This should go into some price discrepancy account. So it's a big concept again. That's called as actual costing. Lots of things. It comes there in the material ledger concept. But this is the reason companies like IOC, which deals in multiple currencies like this, they buy stock in one currency, they sell in one currency. So these kind of companies need to have see their stock in multiple currencies, right? So that is possible through material ledger. You can see stock is same. Here, what is the stock we have? Price unit inventory. Yeah, this is inventory value in dollars, and this is the inventory value in the euros. Stock is same. Stock is total 16 quantity, but stock is valued in two different currencies and two different values. So how do we do this? This is possible through material ledger concept. So it used to be an optional in the ECC, but it is mandatory in the S/4HANA. Right? So we maintain the price. So we have two prices here. See, when it is a standard price, there is no difference because price will not change. When this issue will come, only when we have moving average price. Crude oil, it is a moving average price. The price is not fixed, right? Every day the price changes. So we have two price options here. So one is standard price, one moving average price. So out of this screen, the most important for us SD, one is what is the cost price. What is the cost price here? The price is this. And the other important thing is valuation class. In the interviews also, this is one you will be facing. What is valuation class? Valuation class, see, there are two types of accounting documents. Okay, financial accounting document, inventory accounting document. Financial accounting document talks about the money. Okay, so if customer pays you, you will get money and you post it in revenue accounts. So debits and credits of money. Inventory accounting document talks about the stock. If you receive stock in the plant, credit. If you sell stock goes out of the plant, it is debit. So this valuation class will help us to generate the inventory accounting documents in the IM module, inventory management module. Right? So what is valuation class? It will help us to generate inventory accounting documents at the plant level. And for every material, this valuation class will be different. In the study material, I have the valuation class, what is for finished goods, semi-finished goods. So finished goods, it's not 790. This is for, I guess, the semi-finished goods. What is finished goods? It's there in the study material. You can just go through. Right? So this is all about the material master. Any questions? So whatever I'm discussing here related to S/4HANA, be perfect with that, because even today I got one feedback. One of the person who went to interview, he was telling me that Praveen, they were stressing a lot on HANA. Okay, so if I tell you something, it has an impact in S/4HANA something, just be perfect with that. Make a note of that. So in the interview, if they ask you, you will be the first person to tell them, because other persons don't know it, right? Yeah. Any question?
I have a question, Praveen, regarding this material master. If a company sells a particular material as a raw material, I mean to say, can a material be sold as finished goods and raw material both?
And a material?
A particular material as a finished good. Like X material is there, which he is using as a raw material also, and he is using this X material as a finished good also.
It can be depending upon the business what you are doing.
Okay, then I can create this material master for both,
Yes.
like
For some
FART and
business,
ROH.
for some business which is a raw material, for other business it is a finished goods, right? So depending upon what business you are into.
No, in the same company, like it is,
It
it is
can
about
happen.
iron pack.
In the same company also it can be happen.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Okay, that's all for tomorrow. That's all for today.
Okay, so no questions. So we'll call it a day today and catch up tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll be discussing about CMIR and we'll have a small introduction of sales. First, let's try to understand sales elements. Okay. So see you all, everyone, and catch up tomorrow.
Kindly upload the